In 1347, Europe plunged into a year of calamity. The plague raged for 4 years, shattering social order, driving people to flee in secret, and turning widespread compassion into cold indifference. A group of strangely dressed individuals, doctors with modest skills, rushed headlong into the infected zones. They exhausted every bit of knowledge they had, sometimes hastening the end for those in unbearable agony, only to fall ill themselves in the end. These were the infamous plague doctors. The bird-like beak became forever linked to death, casting them as harbingers of doom, all under the shadow of the ultimate ruler of epidemics, the Black Death. Throughout human history, countless infectious diseases have emerged, but few earn the title of pandemic. Those that do leave massive scars on society. The Black Death stands at the pinnacle of that list, reshaping the course of history multiple times. The writer Boccaccio, author of The Decameron, described it vividly. Nosebleeds signaled impending death. Strange swellings first appeared in the groin and armpits, swelling to the size of eggs or apples, then spreading across the body, followed by countless dark spots. Almost everyone who showed symptoms died within 3 days. History records 3 major global plague pandemics, sweeping across Europe, Asia, and Africa like a swarm of locusts, sparing neither livestock nor people. During the Middle Ages alone, one outbreak claimed roughly 30 to 60% of Europe's population, an estimated 25 to 50 million lives, dramatically shortening average life expectancy. It remains one of the deadliest disasters in human history, killing hundreds of millions worldwide across its waves. Even today, it ranks among the most dangerous infectious diseases. Today, we'll explore how this Category A bioweapon of nature devastated humanity. In 527, Justinian ascended as Emperor of Byzantium. He was busy conquering North Africa and Italy, dreaming of reviving the Roman Empire. But fate intervened cruelly. A horrific plague struck suddenly, ravaging the capital of Constantinople before spreading across the empire. At the time, Constantinople was the largest city in the Western world, home to nearly 1 million people. Yet within 3 months, the population plummeted catastrophically. Justinian first ordered the collection of bodies, but soon the body collectors themselves became corpses. Eventually, he commanded the digging of enormous mass graves, each holding tens of thousands, but the graves couldn't be dug fast enough. Many bodies were simply hurled into ravines or the sea. One plague crushed Justinian's dream of restoring Rome and forever altered Europe's historical trajectory. People of the era believed it was divine will, beyond human resistance or understanding. From then on, religious faith surged, and Christianity spread rapidly across Europe. For centuries afterward, people blamed the Black Death on heavenly punishment, planetary alignments, ancestral miasmas, or winds from distant lands, but no one connected it to mass die-offs among rodents. The Black Death, also known as the plague, is caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. It doesn't spread like rabies through bites. The real culprit is the flea that parasitizes rats. Rats have strong resistance to the bacteria and die slowly, but fleas feed on infected rat blood, ingesting the bacteria. The bacteria multiply and block the flea's stomach, causing regurgitated blood, full of bacteria, to flow back into the bite wound of the next host. The hungrier the flea, the more it bites, spreading the disease to other mammals, including humans. Once inside the body, the bacteria are trapped by the lymphatic system, inflaming lymph nodes into swollen, pus-filled buboes, hence bubonic plague. Without treatment, it spreads systemically, with roughly a 50-50 survival chance. If it enters the bloodstream, septicemic plague, the disease races forward, often killing within 1 to 3 days. Widespread hemorrhaging and tissue death turn the skin dark and necrotic, hence the name Black Death, with almost no chance of survival. If it reaches the lungs, pneumonic plague, victims cough violently, spreading bacteria through droplets and breath. It can transmit directly from person to person without fleas or rats, and the fatality rate is extremely high. Sadly, it wasn't until the late 19th century that humans isolated the plague bacterium. 800 years earlier, the plague returned, fueled by the Mongol Empire's expansion and east-west trade. In 1345 to 1346, Mongol forces besieged the Italian trading city of Kaffa. Plague broke out in their army, and the Khan ordered the catapulting of infected corpses into the city. The Black Death exploded inside Kaffa. Surviving Italian merchants fled by ship across the Black Sea to Constantinople. As a major trade hub, the city became a distribution point for the plague across Europe. In October 1347, the plague erupted in Sicily and officially invaded Europe. It devastated Italy, with Florence losing more than 60 to 75% of its population, dropping from roughly 110,000 to 120,000 to about 50,000. In 1348, Marseille saw 60% mortality. By May, it reached Barcelona, and by September, London. In 1350, as England suffered, Scotland planned an attack on England, but its army caught the plague too. From 1347 to 1351, all of Europe drowned in the shadow of the Black Death. Boccaccio wrote of people dropping dead in the streets mid-step. Many died alone in their homes, only discovered when the stench of decay rose. Every day, countless bodies were carted out of cities, while stray animals wandered empty streets. Petrarch lamented, "No thunder, no war, yet the world still collapsed." The pandemic claimed roughly 30 to 60% of Europe's population, 25 to 50 million lives. Survivors watched devout believers die horribly. Many clergy fled faster than ordinary folk, shaking faith in God. Society shifted from God-centered to human-centered, laying the groundwork for the Renaissance. What must be emphasized is how medieval hygiene created the perfect breeding ground for the disease. Cities had no concept of public sanitation. Canals were clogged with mud and trash. Drinking water was thick and foul. People dumped waste straight from windows onto the streets below. Pedestrians had to dodge aerial assaults. Paris collected manure to haul outside the walls, but piles hardened into ramps that enemies could climb to breach defenses. Personal hygiene? People feared hot baths would open pores to evil airs. They believed bodily cleanliness polluted the soul, since saints wore filthy, hardened clothes. Long periods without bathing let fleas and lice thrive. The more lice someone had, the more pious they were thought to be. That environment was fertile soil for plague bacteria, and human migration was the wind that scattered it everywhere. Amid that darkness, parts of Germany, especially Nuremberg, suffered lower impacts thanks to renowned public hygiene rules. Trash had to be bagged and removed. Public bathhouses were plentiful. Strict sanitation oversight was enforced. Bodies were buried outside the city. Large gatherings were discouraged, and the belongings of the dead were destroyed. Public hygiene awareness became a beacon in the long night. Afterward, European cities began building underground sewers, managing waste, eradicating insects, and disinfecting, measures that effectively controlled future outbreaks. In terms of treatment, the biggest breakthrough was the medical community finally admitting there was no cure for this pandemic. Before that, European medicine relied on the humoral theory. Disease came from imbalance in the body's four humors, so treatments involved bloodletting, induced vomiting, or purging. Bloodletting even became a wellness practice. It was often performed by barbers or amateur anatomists. After bleeding a patient, they'd hang blood-soaked bandages on a pole outside their shop, giving rise to the red and white, and sometimes blue, barber pole we see today. Most plague doctors came from this group, poorly trained, in constant close contact with patients, and with sky-high infection rates. In Venice, 18 plague doctors were registered. By 1348, only one survived. To reduce infection risk, the 16th century saw the emergence of protective plague doctor gear: black hats, long coats, leather gloves, and beaked masks stuffed with herbs. Soon, doctors across Europe wore this eerie uniform. Yet despite its seemingly sealed design, the outfit had plenty of gaps and offered little real protection against the disease. Doctors still fell one by one, and the bird beak image became forever tied to death, a symbol of the Black Death. The tragedy was that these doctors represented patients' last hope. When that hope turned to despair, classical medicine rooted in ancient Greek philosophy collapsed, paving the way for experimental scientific medicine. Today, thanks to antibiotics and modern public health systems, the plague is no longer a death sentence. Globally, we now see approximately 1,000 to 2,000 cases each year, mostly in Africa, such as Madagascar and the Democratic Republic of Congo, with scattered cases in South America and the western United States, averaging about 7 cases per year in the US. For example, Madagascar, the hardest-hit country, typically reports hundreds of cases annually, mostly bubonic, and they are well controlled with prompt treatment. The battle between humanity and the plague isn't fully over, but we must never forget those who swam against the current in that long, dark night, risking their lives to fight the disaster. Thanks to the people who rose from the ruins and despair, humanity gained the courage and faith to understand and conquer disease. And fortunately, such people have always existed. If you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next chapter in history.